What's good, everyone? Long time, no YouTube video. So, here we are, man. I'm gonna start trying to pump them out. I keep saying that, so I gotta do it. So, what I got for y'all today, man? Starting a lawn care business in 2025. I've got a previous video on what steps I took to start my lawn care business, so I'm just going to kind of add on to that because it's, I guess, a topic that people getting into it are really unsure of, including myself when I first started out. And I used to really research a lot of stuff and watch a lot of videos and read a lot of different things to help me make the decision that I finally ended up making, which was starting my lawn care business and going full time with it. So if you're like me, man, you know that you like being outside and cutting grass. You've slaved away years of your life at your 9 to 5 and daydreamed of starting a lawn care business, but just didn't know where or how to start. All you knew is that you needed a mower, weed eater, edger, and blower, and a trailer to get all that to your customers' yards. But then you thought to yourself, how the hell do I get customers? So I'm just going to go over the steps that I took that got me where I am today, with around 70 customers as a solo operator. I've been doing this for around 4 years now, maybe a little bit longer. So I'll share the things that helped me out, but also the hard lessons I had to learn along the way. So number one is research and plan. So you just want to study the industry. You wouldn't think that there would be too much to study when it comes to lawn care, but it's just like any other business. There's things that you have to research and plan for. So studying the industry, identify your target market, and define your services and pricing structure. So you probably won't know how you want your pricing structure starting out. Most of us just go out there and spitball all our prices and hope the customer says yes. And that's totally fine. That's what I did. I had some yards at $40, $50, all the way up to $135. But then after some time, I realized I was shortchanging myself. You need to have a minimum once you've established yourself, or you will leave money on the table. My minimum now is $60. If I have a yard that only takes me 15 minutes, it's going to be $60. You need to make enough money to cover all expenses and pay yourself. That $60 for your minimum that you're charging, everybody thinks you're charging the customer $60 to do 15 minutes of work. Yes, I am, but that whole $60 is not going into my pocket. It's covering expenses. Believe it or not, there's expenses when it comes to lawn care. So you might have a mower payment starting out. You have gas. You have maintenance costs for your equipment and truck, your trailer. It's a whole list of things. So it's not like just gas. I just got to pay just for gas. No. After a while, these things start breaking down on you because you're using them every single day. So you got to think the maintenance and repairs of your equipment, your truck, your tool, everything. It's going to start adding up, and you got to cover yourself, man. So have that minimum to protect yourself. Because if you're going out there just charging $30 for a 15-minute yard, like, oh yeah, that's good, that's nice. You're helping that person now, and you're being fair about it. But you're shortchanging yourself. You're shortchanging your business, and you won't be in business that long if you keep charging $30. For yards. You just won't. You'll find yourself out of this industry really fucking quick. If you don't, be smart about it. At first, I wanted to help people out, and little old lady, oh yeah, $35. But then I realized, damn, I'm not making enough money. And that's the name of this game, man. You want to make money. We're not a charity. If you want to go out there and be like SB Mowing, that's cool, man. That's he's still making money off of what he's doing. But if you want to be a charity, that's great. Do you? But most of us have bills to pay. We have kids. We got kids to feed, and to pay for their extra curricular activities. So you get the idea. For your target market, mine was all over the place at first. I had bi-weekly yards that just wanted the grass cut down and didn't care how it looked. Then I had others that cared about their yard. Knowing what I know now, those that care about their yard will be the customers you want. They understand quality comes with a cost and are willing to pay that. At first, you take what you can get. But after a while, start weeding out those customers that don't care and get the ones that do care. The ones that don't care aren't bad customers, but they are the biweekly that want to pay bare minimum and will be the first to complain. About anything and everything. Believe it or not, they like to complain a lot, and it's always from the bi-weekly customers. I've learned that over the past couple years, especially with all this rain that we've been getting. It's hard to keep up with my weeklies because the grass is growing so much. Here you can see this is a bi-weekly customer, but their yard, I barely dropped the deck. Barely dropped the deck. I dropped it down one notch to, what is it, 4 3/4, whatever it is, and you can see it's chugging out that grass like crazy. So I did have to double cut this yard. So that's another thing is those bi-weekly yards. I'm gonna charge this customer $50 for this yard. Yeah, okay, cool. Keep in mind, when it rains and you're out there double cutting, triple cutting, you're shortchanging yourself. So keep that in mind. So, anyways. Getting a little bit sidetracked, but where your services offered, at first I offered a lot, everything but tree removal, just because that was out of my wheelhouse and knew nothing about it, didn't want anything to do with it. But then it got to a point where I got so busy with cutting grass that I didn't have time for those other things. So I started working with a landscaper to sub that work out to. If you have helpers, you might as well just load the schedule up with those additional services to keep your guys busy. But as a solo provider, if you are a solo provider, just be careful not to spread yourself too thin. When you're first starting out, you're not really spreading yourself too thin. You're keeping yourself busy and making money. But after a while, once you get pretty busy, you don't have to keep saying yes to projects. Hook up with a landscaper, find somebody in your area, or get somebody that can help you, or you might have to hire a helper. It's just one of those things where you just got to kind of ask yourself, how do you want to grow your business? If you want to stay solo, you will have to turn down some jobs. And I say no more than I say yes. I used to say yes to everything under the sun. And it was awesome at first, but then it got to the point where it's like, I can't keep doing this because I have zero time. I'm burning myself out. So like I said, just don't spread yourself too thin. So next up, I got create a business plan. Outline your goals, marketing strategy, budget, and financial projections. Starting out, my goal was to get enough customers to quit my full-time job. That was it. A simple goal that helped propel me forward. Once I got those customers, I needed to quit my job. My goal was to get more customers. So I hustled that first year. Ended the season with around 40 customers. I wasn't trying to get every yard out there. I was just trying to get enough to make the income I was making with my previous job. Then that led me to my financial projections. After that first season, I surpassed my full-time salary from my previous job. So I was actually pretty surprised at first, but then I set a goal to make even more money. And how I did that was upselling my existing customers on other services like pine straw installs, mulch installs, bush trimmings, and things like that. For marketing, don't overthink it. You can go on canva.com and create a social media ad with their existing templates. So you don't have to have do anything from scratch. They got templates you can start from. You just kind of like plug in your information, and then what I did was I Googled lawn care flyers or lawn care door hangers to kind of get inspiration to see what I liked. Just use that as inspiration to create your own. And then you can go on Facebook and Nextdoor, create a business page, join yard sale groups on Facebook, and post your business on there and other local groups. That's what I did starting out. You can even try running a few low budget ads on Facebook. I ran a few at like $20 each, and ended up getting quite a few customers that way just from those ads. But once I started getting customers, I didn't want to spend any more money. I was trying to make money. I didn't want to keep spending it. So once I got the customers that I needed, I kind of let word of mouth kind of do its thing, and Google do its thing. And that's, one thing that I'll get to later down the list is Google. So the next thing I got is legal structure and permits. Do you need an LLC at first? Not necessarily. For me personally, I held off on getting one because I wanted to see if this is what I wanted to do. Excuse me, damn allergies again. After a while of operating independently, I decided to get the LLC to protect myself. So once I decided to add pressure washing services, that's where I was like, okay, I need to get that LLC just in case. It's really not costly. It's a peace of mind more than anything. Plus it just projects a more professional image when, somebody says, do you have your license? Are you an LLC? You can say yes. We're all good. Everything is all legal. So next, I got acquiring equipment and supplies. Most of us start out with residential equipment. This is how I started out, and as I got more customers, I just purchased more equipment in cash. For my mower, I financed that with no interest. With the deal that they were running at the time at my local dealer. That's dependent on your credit score. Obviously, if you finance one and you don't have great credit or good credit, they might hit you with a little interest rate, but probably nothing too severe. The residential mower I had just wasn't going to cut it. I mean, no pun intended. But it wasn't going to last me for what I was putting it through. So I had to get a commercial mower, and this was the best option for me at the time. As you get more established, you can start paying cash. So keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace. You can find some really good deals there from people unloading their equipment for various reasons. I got my Tiger Cat 2 for a crazy good deal. Shout out to my guy Manny at Wheezy Weeds. He bought a mower from this guy, and where was it? South Carolina, North Carolina. I can't even remember now. One of the Carolinas. He bought his mower from there, and they kind of stayed in contact. And the guy was trying to sell another mower. It was the Tiger Cat 261 inch. Manny didn't have a need for it at the time and asked me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it for. I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to give him what he wants, and I shot him a number. The guy pretty much accepted, so I was like, dang, well, I can't turn it down. It was a stupid, crazy deal. So keep your eye on Facebook Marketplace. Really good deals there for mowers and equipment. Just know what you're looking at when, you're looking at this equipment, so you don't buy a lemon or buy junk. So next I got, finances. Set up your finances. Open a separate banking account, preferably a business account, and set aside some money for your taxes at the end of the year. If you opt to only accept cash or check from customers, you do you, but just be smart about it. If you're opening a business account, you will need a tax identification number. So that's where you need to go ahead and get that LLC set up. So next, insurance and licensing. Get liability insurance to cover your ass. All it takes is one small rock hitting a really big window on one of these houses that have really big windows, or maybe a rock that hits like a classic car window, and it's not like a standard windshield. It's gonna cost money, man. It's gonna hurt. So just one of those things. I don't necessarily like paying money for insurance, but if it's going to protect my ass at the end of the day, I'm just going to go ahead and pay it to have that peace of mind. So next is the Google business page that I was referring to. This is something you should create right away. It's free and the best tool for getting customers. Anytime somebody Googles lawn care near me, you'll pop up and they will call. And once the calls start, they won't stop. So get on Google. It's free. It's the best tool ever. My next thing is build a customer base. Start with family and friends. Ask them to leave you Google reviews. I still have like 2 or 3 reviews from my relatives that got the ball rolling for me. So now I'm at around 27 reviews. And that's really all you need, to be honest. You don't necessarily need hundreds of reviews. If people see you have around 20 5-star reviews or somewhere around there, it gives them all the reassurance that they need. So don't stress like if you can't get hundreds of reviews, 50 reviews, 20, 15, that's, it gets the ball rolling. Next thing I got is deliver quality service and growth. Focus on the quality. This alone will help your business more than you know. Just focus on the little things. Like what I'm doing right here is defining the bed edge. Little things like that will set you apart from the rest. I just kind of here they don't even have pine straw, but so you could easily say, well, they don't have pine straw. Why am I going to define the bed? It just looks better for one, and it's just one of those things where it's just like just go ahead and do it. Hit it real quick. It only takes another couple minutes. You can kind of pick and choose on certain things like that, because I have some customers that have beds that I don't define because it needs a little bit more work than just me flip edging it. It needs an overhaul. So there's times, but like that right there, that was easy to define the bed edge, and it's just looks better. So just focus on those little things. Those customers will go to bat for you and recommend you to anyone asking for lawn care. If they see that you're taking the time to provide quality service. So the next thing I got is, and it's the last thing I got because I think it's the most important, is customer service. It really is something that I think is the most important thing with any business. So let me ask, like, how is your experience most of the time when you go to McDonald's compared to Chick-fil-A? It's pretty night and day most of the time. And you ask, why is that? It's that customer service experience that keeps people coming back to Chick-fil-A, because it sure as hell is not the food. It's unseasoned as hell. That's my opinion. It's unseasoned chicken. That sauce, all the sauces they got, is great. But for customer service, communication is key. If you make a mistake or mess up a customer's property, own it. Tell them you'll fix the problem, apologize, and throw in a free service to ease the pain. I recently left muddy tire marks in my customer's yard, and they were not happy at all. I told them with a couple of rains, the ground and grass will perk back up, but they just were not hearing it. I told them no worries, I'll get some sod and grass seed fertilizer, peat moss, and we'll get it back as good as new. The customer will still be a little salty, but it shows you that you care and that their satisfaction and happiness do mean something to you. So once you resolve the issue, I guarantee that customer will see you in a positive light. That's if they're a good customer. If not, that's a whole nother can of worms, really. But so yeah, that's what I got for y'all today, man. It's pretty much common sense stuff. Some of it isn't, but if you're starting out, these are the things that help me. And I have more detailed videos that cover like different things that you'll need, and it has like a chapter breakdown. So go check it out. And if you got questions, as usual, just leave them in the comments. And so that's it. My next video, I'm gonna have a review for my tiger cat. I just put 100 hours on it, so that will be my next video. All right, y'all, see you.